Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here with my July pickups video. It was another good month, probably about more than I should have, but it happens. So we're going to start right away because it might be a long one. First one is actually a game I've had for a while that I got from my cousin maybe way back in December, and that's Backyard Basketball for the PS2. And the reason it wasn't included then is because it wasn't working. It is one of those PS2 with the blue disc, and I was just gotten another game that you'll see later on that was blue disc. The disc was in perfect shape, but it wasn't working on my PS2, so I looked it up, and I read something about those discs need to spin faster, and so sometimes in your PS2, if it's laying flat, it doesn't, so it could help if you tilt it up. So I tried that, and it worked for the other game, so I put this one in and it worked. So glad to get that one. It's a fun game, and best part is I'm a huge Spurs fan, so Tim Duncan right in the front is pretty cool. But it's just a little kid basketball game, but it's fun. Next was for my sister-in-law. She found this for $2, and that's Dungeon Magic, Sword of the Elements. It is complete in box. It doesn't have I guess it doesn't have the poster. But for me, as long as I get the manual, the box, and the game, it's complete to me. The box is a little rough, but the game itself is in very good shape. It's a very confusing game, especially if you don't have a map. But I'm looking forward to getting into that a little more. Next came from my nephew. He was getting rid of his Wii and his games and some of his Wii U games. So I said, well, before you bring it to GameStop, talk to me first. I might be interested in it. So some of these, most of these aren't very good, but they were cheap. So we've got NHL Slapshot. That was complete. Got Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2010. Complete. Mentioned before, I do like these Cabela's games. Chicken Shoot is just a shooter game. It works really well with the Wiimote, but it's kind of weird. Deer Drive, similar to a Cabela game. Just Dance 2. Back in college, we used to play Just Dance 3 a ton. So I do like the Just Dance games. Minute to Win It. Nerf End Strike, which is kind of fun, especially since it does come with the a Nerf gun that you can put the Wiimote in right there. You can take that part out, put the Wiimote in there, and you can use that. So that's kind of fun. We've got Deca Sports 2, Madden 13, Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2010. And then for the Wii U games, we've got Just Dance 2015, Just Dance 2016, and the game that made it all worth it, New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, featuring the New Super Mario Luigi U also. So this game, I think it's still like $20 to $30, and so that right there, just buying this paid for the whole thing. So that was nice of my nephew to give me those. And next, we'll go into some garage sales. But first thing was just something I saw on Facebook. Someone had posted a bunch of stuff that she was selling, and there's some Game Boy games. I really wanted Contra Operation C, but by the time she got back to me, it had already sold. But, first one was we've got Bugs Bunny and Crazy Castle 2. That one did not have the manual, but did come with a clamshell for the game, which is nice. We got the Final Fantasy Legend. It is also missing its manual, but it does have the clamshell. We've got Super RC Pro-Am, missing the manual. And we got Batman, which does have the manual. I already had the game, so now we got the box and the manual. So, the other cartridge I could use for trade or to sell. We got Kirby's Dream Land. I already had the manual, so I got the box now. Plus, I've got a second cartridge of this that I can trade or sell. We've got Nemesis, which is complete in box, a little shooter on the Game Boy. And then complete in box, Fist of the North Star, which is a fighting game. Haven't spent a lot of time with these games, but they're really cheap, and it's nice getting games with the boxes, and the boxes are in excellent shape. Next was on Facebook. I just saw one of my rummage sale sites that I'm part of. I saw there was a rummage sale going on with some video games, so got there bright and early the next day. Nothing fantastic, but they were all cheap. We'll start with the the GameCube games. We've got Naruto Clash of the Ninja 2, which is a fighting game with an anime style. X-Men Legends. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. And Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. I'm a big fan of the Spyro series. This was probably one of my least favorite ones. It was the fourth one to come out, and it just seemed slow and kind of glitchy. I was hoping maybe the GameCube one would be a little different than the PS2 version, but they both seem to have the same issues. And then for the DS, we got Batman, The Brave and the Bold, which is a fun little action platforming game which you can play as more than just Batman. There's Aquaman and the Flash and Green Arrow and stuff, so that's fun. Then we've got Time Splitters, fun FPS. Haven't spent a lot of time with it, but it seemed interesting the little bit that I played. And the best game, personally, for me was The Suffering, which I'd never heard of, but it's like a survival horror game where you're in this prison and all these nightmarish creatures start to attack, and you have to go around killing them, and then you kind of turn into a creature yourself. Controls aren't the greatest, but it was a lot of fun. I look forward to playing that one some more. And then the next, so I was at a math conference all week, and while I was there, my wife sent me a Facebook notification about this garage sale that had a bunch of video games. I'm like, well, you got to go for me because I'm not going to be able to go at all. So like she went, she sent me pictures, she called me, we talked about it, and she got some games for me. So let's see what order we want to do this in. I guess start with the PS2 games. We got the Sega Classics Collection, which has about 10 games on it, but it's weird because they upgraded the graphics. So when I tried this out, I was playing Golden Axe. It was just weird, you know. It's not quite the same. So it's nice that they got all these games on there. It's got Outrun, Space Harrier, Virtual Racing, Monaco GP, Tantor, Alien Syndrome, Bonanza Bros, Fantasy Zone, Columns, and then Golden Axe. But they're all remastered, so it's interesting. But I think I'd rather play the original games. We got 007 Nightfire, similar to a GoldenEye game. I've got it for the GameCube. It's fun. Soul Calibur 2, a very fun fighting game. I played Soul Calibur 3 a ton in college, so I'm actually looking for that one, but it was nice to find that one. Sonic Mega Collection Plus, which has 7 great Sonic games. You got the first 3, you've got the Mean Bean Machine, you got Spinball, and then you got Sonic and Knuckles and 3D Blast. So all great games. I think I've got all those on cartridge already on the Genesis, but it's nice to pick that up. Got Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. Never played this before. It's tough to get used to. You're tilting the platform that you're on to make the ball move instead of tilting to roll the ball. So that takes some getting used to, but it's fun. Got GoldenEye Rogue Agent. I always wanted to play this. I always really liked the cover. I thought it looked pretty cool. So similar to that 007 Nightfire. And then Gauntlet 7 Sorrows. Another fun Gauntlet game. I really enjoy when they went to the 3D with like Dark Legacy and Gauntlet Legends and stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting more into that. Then let's see. Oh, another PS2 game that was with it was Star Wars Battlefront 2. It is complete, but I already have it. So that'll be either traded or sold. And then we'll go for the DS. We got Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light. It is complete. And then some Super Nintendo games. We've got Monopoly. You know, it's Monopoly, just in video game form. And then Tecmo Super Bowl 2. This actually came with a manual in one of the, like a video game rental store case. For only $1. And I looked up, didn't realize this was like a $40 game. So that's pretty cool. Most of these were just a couple bucks a piece. And then let's see, we also have RBI Baseball 93. I already had this, but now I've got the case for it. And they also had Comic Zone in this rental case with the manual. I already had the game in the manual, so now I've got another copy that can either be traded or sold. And then for the Genesis also, we got Super Off-Road. And then the game I was most interested in, Contra Hardcore. Love the Contra games. Had never played this one, but heard good things about it. It was the most expensive out of the out of the lot. But like I said, all the other ones were only a couple bucks a piece. This one was probably about half the price it normally is, so I thought it was a good buy. And I mean, between that, Comic Zone, and the Tecmo Super Bowl, I mean, those paid for the lot itself. So that was cool. Next, so I thought there's another game store nearby, but I thought I'd check it out. Wasn't really much there, didn't have a lot of retro stuff, mostly focused on newer things, but found a few good games. We got Earth Defense Force for the Super Nintendo. When Michael B. the Game Genie was doing Top 3 Tuesdays, someone had talked about this game as a good shooter, and it is a lot of fun. It's really cool. Before every level, you can choose what weapon you want to use. So some are better than others. So it's a good shooter. We got Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I like the Harry Potter games, so I picked that up. And then a couple PS2 games. We got Devil May Cry 2. I always wanted to try the Devil May Cry series. I've got the first one from Video Games Monthly a couple months ago. Haven't really been able to spend time with it, but the little I did play with it seems fun. And then this one looked interesting, Extermination. So it's a survival horror game. It just seemed kind of fun. When I first put it in, I spent about an hour playing it when I only wanted to test it for 10 minutes. So I really got hooked. So I'm interested to play it a little more. Next was in Madison, so I had to go to pre-played. So we've got for the Game Boy, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. I love the Power Rangers. It's a fun little game. I prefer the Genesis Power Ranger movie game, and I'm still looking for the Super Nintendo version. And then for the DS, we've got The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass and The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. I've been looking for these games for a while. They're one of the few Zelda games that I still needed. So saw those, snatched them up right away. And next would be from Game Corner, the game store I go to most often, but I really didn't buy much from them. I think I only went there once this month. And so we've got Hook, which came with the manual. So it's a fun platforming game. I really love the movie Hook with Robin Williams, and the games are pretty good too. We got A Boy and His Blob, Trouble in Blobolonia. Really weird game. So you've got all these jelly beans that you can feed your blob, and each jelly bean does something different. So it's a puzzle game. Definitely takes some trial and error figuring out what each of the jelly beans does and how to get certain places. And then Final Fantasy for the NES. So in the beginning of the month is when Video Games Monthly came, and I got my first Final Fantasy game ever. And now you can see I had Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy 4 Heroes of Light, and now the original Final Fantasy. So last month didn't have any. Now I'm up to 4 Final Fantasy games. Now I just got to find some time to try them out. Next, I was in. So these ones are from Auclair. So we go to Country Jam Music Festival every summer, and so while we were there, want to look at gaming generations. So I stopped by there. We've got Ninja Gaiden 2 for the NES. A lot of fun. Love the Ninja Gaiden series. Can't beat them. They're really tough for me, but they're fun. And then for the Genesis, Dragon's Fury, which is a port of Dragon's Crush from the TurboGrafx 16. So I heard Joe Goes Retro talk about this. Well, he was doing a review on Dragon's Crush, and he mentioned Dragon's Fury. So I was like, well, I don't have a TurboGrafx 16. I don't plan to get one anytime soon. But so when I saw this, I was like, I want to try it out. And it's a really fun pinball game. And I do like video pinball games. And next, we were in a wedding in Appleton. And there's every time I go somewhere, I look, there's a game store. Saw this one, wanted to check it out. So first thing, we got a manual for Final Fantasy Chronicles. Because I got this, Crystal Chronicles, because I got this in my last VGM box, but it didn't have the manual. And this was Press Start Games in Appleton, and they were fantastic, really nice. They split up that game for me so I could just take the manual. Very knowledgeable and just willing to help me out, which is cool. We got Beautiful Joe for the GameCube, game I've been wanting for a while. It's really fun, looks fantastic. And then Zelda: Link Between Worlds for 3DS. Another Zelda game I'd been wanting once I got my 3DS, but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I was glad to finally get that. And with that, I believe, other than the remakes or remasters and the CDI games, that now got all the Zelda games that I want. I'll get the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask 3D eventually, but for right now, I got everything I want. So really excited because I do love the Zelda series. Now probably my next goal is to get all of them complete in box, because some of them are missing the box or the manual, so I'll be working on that next. And then last, so Press Start Games just talked about, well, while I was there, the guy had mentioned that in 2 weeks they were having their 2-year anniversary sale. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm all for that. And so I liked them on Facebook, and their sale was all cartridge-based games was buy one, get one half off, and all disc-based games was buy two, get one free. So my wife was nice enough to go with me. We drove the few hours to get there and spent the day there, and it was really cool. I got some good stuff. So we'll start with some NES games. First one we got Mock Rider, fun black box. I like the black box games for the NES, and there's still a few of them that I need, so I picked that up. The next two my wife saw, and since we're having a baby in November, thought might as well get these. So we got Sesame Street ABC and Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. Great condition. Not a game that I'm going to be playing much, but for our daughter, I'm sure that she'll like those once she gets old enough to play. Let's see, what do we want to do next? For the DS, we got Mario Kart DS. Love the Mario Kart games. That is complete. For the Super Nintendo, Earthworm Jim 2, one of my favorite games. They are so much fun. They're so weird and interesting. Just really fun platformers. It's very difficult, but fun. And then for the PS2, we got Spyro, or the Legend of Spyro, The Eternal Night. So this was like a reboot of the franchise. They did the Legend of Spyro series, so this is the third game in that series. I just wanted to see if I'd be interested in it. It's still good, but I still prefer the original. Just the game looks great, but the controls just seem different, and it's just weird because you have to earn the abilities to like blow fire and stuff like that. It's like, this is a dragon, you should be able to blow fire, and you have like a meter for it, so that's kind of annoying. And the jumping just seems slow. You know, you expect if you played the Spyro games, you press jump, it just goes immediately, and this one just seems slow and floaty. But I'm looking forward to giving it a little more chance. Contra Shattered Soldier. So I heard about this in Westapo's top 5 Contra games. This was his favorite of all time, so I thought, well, I got to try this out. He's very knowledgeable in his games, and a lot of the games he likes, I seem to like. So this was that blue disc game that I told you about, that it looked great, but it wasn't working. Then I realized you can turn your PS2 fat sideways, and it helps with those. And then Metal Slug Anthology. So I've only played Metal Slug X. My buddy had it as kids for the PlayStation. And then Michael B, the Game Genie, just did a Game & Watch of one of the Metal Slug games. Like, man, these games are really fun. I want to get one. So when I went that Press Start Games, this is the first thing I looked for, see if they had Metal Slug games. So they did have this. They also had the Wii version, which was cheaper. But I'd rather collect for the PS2 than the Wii. And then the biggest game that I got, the priciest, but one of the best games, was Truxton for the Genesis. So it's a shooter game. During, again, that top 3 Tuesday video of top 3 shooters that Michael B, the Game Genie, had. Truxton was mentioned a lot, but it is a pricey game, but I'm so glad I got it. I put it in and I played it for a long time yesterday. It's just a great shooter, and it's nice you can change the difficulty settings, because I'm not very good at shooters, so I like to play them on the easy settings, but not all of them can you do that. But it's a really fun game. So if you do get ever chance to find this for cheap, definitely pick it up. It's a lot of fun. So there it is. That's everything I picked up in the month of July. So a lot of stuff, some filler, but some good stuff. I know I keep saying one of these months I'm going to slow down because of the baby coming, and the August will definitely be that month. I'm not planning on really going out looking for much stuff, but I'm sure I'll have something. So there you go. Video Games Monthly should be in soon, and obviously the weekly retro challenge every week. Back in the Day Gamer will have Wednesday's video up, and so we'll have another challenge for that. And I'm thinking about start doing some collection videos. I've seen a bunch of people doing those, so I thought I might get in on that. So let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the video. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Go to Facebook, like my page there. The link is in the description below. And until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.